I'm not real familiar with urban terror. I haven't had a chance to get my head around it or anything. What exactly is urban terror as a mod?
Urban terror, actually, it started out as a map pack for Quake 3 back in December of 1999. And since that time, it's sort of grown. The project's gotten bigger. We've taken on more people, and it's basically turned into a total conversion. It's, you know, people compare it to Counter-Strike or Action Quake 2 if you came from the Quake community.
Okay.
It's a realism-based action mod.
Okay. Now, and you mentioned that people do compare it to Counter-Strike and Action Quake. What kind of differences are there between urban terror and those platforms?
Well, I think those people who don't play Quake, the first thing they'll notice about urban terror is speed. Speed is extremely fast, and I know we got some of the guys here who were playing last night.
Yes.
It's, I mean, you can straight jump like you can do in Quake 3, and coming from Counter-Strike, I mean, you have to carry a knife to run faster. In urban terror, everybody runs fast regardless of what weapon you carry. So that's probably the main difference. You get into some game mode differences. You know, we were talking about before this, the bomb mode for Counter-Strike been really popular. So we've decided to borrow from that game and a couple others and implement it. But for the most part, people continue to think that Counter-Strike is a realistic game, a realistic mod.
Right.
And you know, there's some other games that I would consider, like America's Army, very realistic.
Absolutely.
And you know, Counter-Strike and Quake 3, I guess, or excuse me, Urban Terror, pretty much similar, I think, when it comes to the genre. But after that, I mean, there are quite a few differences in terms of gameplay and how they were built.
Okay. Okay. Now, tell me what exactly is your role?
I'm the project coordinator and the public relations guy.
Okay. Okay. And when you're working with a mod, one of the things that I'm very, very curious about, what's it like to interact with the community that plays your game?
Now that I have some of them listening here,
yeah.
you know, it's cyclical. It really is. Sometimes it's really good, and other times it's
another shameless plug right there.
No, seriously, we have a really good community. I'm very pleased to be a part of this community, and they interact with the development team really well, and conversely, we do the same. I mean, we're usually available. We'll answer email. We're on ICQ, IRC. We post on the forums. We play every week. So the community really, you know, actually sees the development team sometimes as a gamer. I mean, we're not, you know, people picture us as like a high and mighty, oh, untouchable, this is Sid, you know, but that's not really the case. We like to get in and actually have a good time, and, you know, we do that on the side because, you know, we have our own little thing going as a development team, but when it comes to the community, I mean, you know, we're all about the community. I know we've stressed that for at least 2 years now, that, you know, everything we do with the community in mind. Right,
right. Now, is there ever a situation in the development of Urban Terror, and especially with the new release that you have coming out with the new beta, and hopefully we'll talk about that in a little bit, but is there ever a time where you feel like you can't please everybody, that somebody wants something? And
all the time. You cannot make everybody happy all the time.
Is that frustrating for you?
You will kill yourself trying.
What's the formula to overcome that hurdle?
You got to start out with your plan. The development team has a plan. This is what we want implemented. You implement that, you take it into some QA testing, and then the community will get to interact, and they say, okay, we don't like this. You know, maybe you should change this. You know, this could work differently. Weapons have been one of the biggest areas of contention. I mean, you can talk to 5 different people, and they'll tell you to do the weapon 5 different ways.
Right.
Well, you can't have the weapon 5 different ways. Well, you know, give us a CVAR. No, we're not going to give you a CVAR for it. That's our answer to everything. If they don't like something we do, well, make it a CVAR. No, we're not going to make it a CVAR.
Right.
But there is a formula, and I think actually we're still looking for that formula. I think once you Counter-Strike, I think, has that formula to a point when it comes to you know, the gameplay and how the weapons are set up. I think they did a good job. And I know that's been our biggest pet peeve is trying to get our weapons set, because you don't want to play a beta version for 4 months, and then 4 months later you get a new beta version and the weapons are all changed, and now you have to relearn the weapons, and, you know, people get a little pissy at times because of that. But, you know, you can't please everybody, and, you know, we've finally given up trying to please everybody. I mean, you know, we take the clanners into consideration. We take the players who mainly pub, and then you take people like me who maybe play an hour a week, and you get a bunch of them all in there and try to satisfy them all, but you're not going to do it.
Right, absolutely.
It's too hard.
You have to maintain your sanity when you're doing that kind of work.
Oh, sanity's gone.
Well, one of the things I also want to ask you about, there's a lot of hubbub about 3.0, this new beta release. Can you give us any secrets about that?
Well, actually, yeah, 3.0 actually started out as 2.7, and I don't know why we keep going up increment by increment. 2.0, 2.1, 2, 3, 4. And we got to 2.6, we had some problems with it, so we immediately released a patch for the beta. Go figure. I mean, that's another thing modders have to get over, is continually releasing betas. Rather than releasing alphas. It just, anyways. So we hit 2.6a, and we're going to release a B portion to that patch, which is going to deal with servers. Didn't get around to it, and the more we got into the development, we said, you know, let's just call it 2.7. And then a couple months ago, we said, well, you know what, we're so far along, let's just call it 3.0, because now it becomes a psychological thing. Okay. Now I'm giving away the secret, so everybody out there, yeah, we knew you did it this way. But, you know, it is, because if we released, say, a full version at 150 megs, you give, say, 25 new maps, it's basically an all-new game, and you're calling it 2.7, people are going to say, well, you guys spent 6 months doing this, and this is terrible. So, you know, we call it Beta 3. I mean, people have been looking forward to Beta 3, and, you know, the round numbers get a lot of attention, Beta 1, Beta 2, Beta 3. Right. So we decided to call it Beta 3, and it's, like I said, really a new game. We have 25 new maps in it, well, new or updated maps, new skins, a couple new weapons. We have the IMI negative, which is a light machine gun, which is going to be interesting to see. I think that's going to be a big complaint from the community. They're not going to like how it plays. It's going to be the only weapon that you actually lose stamina. It's got encumbrance, so when you move, your stamina bleeds off. None of the other weapons do that, but this one, because you have 150 round
landing.
I mean,
right, it makes sense.
It's your big span weapon. Yeah. But we have new models, like I said, we have the new game mode, we have the bomb game mode, which, you know, if you want to say we took a Counter-Strike or Medal of Honor, I mean, it's a popular game mode, and our community has been asking for it for at least a year, 2 years. Right. So, you know, we finally got it in. We've actually been working on it for Beta 2, which came out in 2000, I think, 2001. And we just didn't have the resources at our disposal. Right. We just didn't have the maps. We just didn't have the manpower to do what we've done this time around for Beta 3. So, you know, like I say it every time too, Beta 3 is going to be the best release to date. And I mean, we've put a lot of time into it. And I mean, the team's just been outstanding. Our coders, we have 3 coders, 27 density and high C, who've just been amazing. I mean, 3 guys from 3 different countries. You have Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
Wow.
And these guys, I mean, are on top of it. And it's just amazing.
That's awesome.
And then we get to our, you know, our artists and our modelers and skinners and blade killers are our main girl when it comes to that. She's just awesome.
That's great.
She kicks ass with the skins. She's running the QA team, and I mean that's anything. I don't want any part of that. I mean, I interact with the community enough, but listening to these guys, and you know, it's been a good time. They've been a lot of support for us when it comes to, you know, a cross section of the community. But I mean, it's just part of 3.0. It's going to be a big release. We're going to have a pre-release party for it. And looking forward to it.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Right. Well, since this is a roundtable discussion, I'm going to pass the mic over to. Does anybody have any questions about the new beta or about Urban Terror? Anything that you'd like to ask Oswald or comment? Turn this over to Everland's Everman here.